weeks of regular season, as well as Tristle MTG, Archfield Monk, and Monsieur Slime, the 8, 9, and 16 seeds, respectively. And we are getting right into it here. We are wasting no time. We'll explain what is going on as it goes along here, as we've got the king giving the instructions, and we're starting off in the throne room with the Cursed Belt and the Big Stick Erdrick's Sword, the best weapon in the game, along with the obligatory magic key, and ooh, nice spells to start as well.
Yeah, we're seeing a hurt and heal right off the beginning, so that's going to make these low-level monsters right outside Tangential Castle a breeze. Easy leveling.
Yeah, that will certainly help out, given the wrinkle to this particular round of the playoffs. It's like a typical tournament flag, except, well, there's permanent repel. And what that means is defense breaking is very important, as when your defense points are the same as or higher than an enemy's strength, well, normally there's a different attack range calculated, but here with permanent repel, you will never encounter them going forward. So that Scorpion that Tristle had just taken out, well, no agility there, so that'll certainly help. But we'll keep track along the way here as where the respective defenses of our runners are, as that will certainly, well, this setup certainly helps them, as there's a lot of offense and not a lot of defense.
All right, it looks like we got our first cave over on Tristle's side, who nopes out, unable to navigate through in the dark. Either that or decided that it was not the cave wanted to go for, and quickly withdrew.
Now, for those who missed the earlier race, the object here of Dragon Warrior is for our racers to find and defeat the evil Dragon Lord, and they'll need to collect certain key items to trade in for the Rainbow Drop, which will allow the runners to enter Charlotte Castle, home of the Dragon Lord, and they'll also be fighting enemies one at a time, as you see here, to gain experience and levels to get stronger, as well as gold to purchase weapons, armor, and items to help in their quest. And a lot randomized here. The overworld map, as you can see, the contents of the treasure chests and search spots. You don't normally get the best weapon in the game right at the start. Also the locations of the towns and caves. One of those towns, Rimeldar, found by Tristle. Man, everything is coming up quickly here, as that is the town that allows you to buy keys. And we're not even 3 minutes into the seed. Right. Yeah, this is...
I hope you guys don't blink. You may miss this run with the way things are stacking up from the beginning.
Yeah, this is wild to say the least. Also, the enemy locations and their spells and abilities are randomized, as are the order in which they learn their spells, so they're guaranteed to learn all 10 spells by level 16. And the contents of the weapon and armor shops are randomized as well. And the experience, well, it's tailored toward the newer releases of the game, as it's a little bit more balanced. And for the sake of all of us not watching them grind all evening, the experience needed to get from level to level is cut by 25%, so 75% of what you remembered growing up.
And that does make for a very interesting time. Mr. Holmes does find that cave. From what it looked like to me, it kind of looked like it may have been Mountain Cave. I'm thinking it was, but he noped out as well. And we're not going to get to see which one it is. Archfield Monk hanging out in the cave. But again, with it being dark, it's kind of hard to see exactly where they're going if you miss a turn. Let's see here. Monster Slime goes in as well and is wiggling through.
So level 5 here looks to be bittersweet in that you have a rather large agility gain. Looks like 28, so that essentially adds 14 defense to your total, bumping you up from 9 to 23. So that means, well, where Monsieur Slime was at level 4, oh man, that pretty much means that quite a few enemies you get to no longer deal with here. So let's see here, the Magician, they're out, as is the Magidraki. You can no longer encounter poltergeists or scorpions. And the Druin is no longer in there as well, the Drakema. So the weakest enemy that they're going to find now is the Droll.
And having the big stick, that is not going to be too much of a problem. These fighters are definitely going to be able to take on that role without having to worry. Mr. Holmes is I'm sorry, Monsieur Slime. I was looking at the wrong screen up here. Is exploring. I have confirmed it is Mountain Cave and is going up to hit those 2 treasure chests on the top. And we'll be able to see what we got for treasure chest 2 and 3.
And thank you, Mechalink, noting in chat that the fairy flute looks to have been inside of Rimmeldar. And we'll have to find out a little bit more about that cave as Monsieur Slime taking a death to that wizard. Wizard, a near end enemy game, or end game enemy, I should say. And Monsieur Slime going right back on in.
Yeah, he's not gonna let that one little death ruin it for him. He's gonna go in. He's gonna go in strong and proud and make sure that he gets. That is, if he's not lost.
Well, there is that.
Looks like he was walking a little bit back and forth to try to find the down portion there. Does find a star wyvern and gets hit right back home. Tristal does find Cantlin, and with access to keys, I don't know if Tristal still has keys, but will be able to get the coordinate location, considering we have heal and heal more all ready to go.
Yep, gonna stay at the inn, replenish everything up here.
So I'm going to pick up a few herbs just in case. Oh, and Monsieur Slime finds coal. That's a big one, as the search bar could yield us something delicious. And we have the Stones of Sunlight.
That's one of the key items needed to access Charlotte Castle. So a nice find, and on with the exploration. Another cave, and this is the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave. And we've got some big bucks there.
All right, Tristal's about ready to make his way over and talk to the old man. We do see that there is a search, 30 and 18. That is not going to be hard to find. And we already know that the Stones of Sunlight and Fairy Flute are accounted for, so this could be something big.
Yeah, it is potentially countable. I didn't see how far south exactly things were. And here at level 6, we've got 2 power, 2 speed, 1 hit point, no magic points, no spells. And we've got a spark over bridge on Mr. Holmes' side. And
all right, Tristal's going into the armory. We got a magic key. We got dragon scales. Curse belt, and for the final chest we have an herb. So nothing really impressive. I said armory, I meant to say the treasury. I apologize, we got the wrong one. Does not go into the basement, however.
And a little bit of Inception, as you've got a Twitch ad within a Twitch ad on a channel here. So now that we've gotten our Queso Blanco out of the way, we'll go ahead and continue with the race here. Holmes now heading over to the west and runs into a green dragon, runs away from a green dragon, and looks to be in Garen's grave. So, is he able to make it to the 3 chests up top here? Yes, we have the silver harp, one of the key items needed. There's some gold and a torch.
Yeah, so everything's coming up pretty quick. He's going down to the bottom of the grave as well. Meanwhile, Monsieur Slime has also found Rimmeldor and picked up his. Now, I didn't see Tristal go down and do the count yet. Looks like he was off doing something else. Will be sent back home. I didn't see. Did you see a count?
No, and my thought behind that is I have a feeling that Tristal wants to hold off on potentially finding Erdrick's armor because a big boost in defense means a lot fewer enemies for you to take on. It would be one thing if, let's say, the spell of Hurtmore was already acquired, in which case you can take on some of those upper tier enemies. as we have a fairy water now in the middle of Garen's grave.
Yeah, it definitely does change things a little bit. That search spot is tempting, but as you stated, can be very dangerous. So I can understand that play.
Yeah, the addition of Erdrick's armor, it adds 28 defense to your total. And just like that, given where our runners are, let's see here, at level 6, I believe, what did we say? They're at 20, I'm just trying to do the math on it here. Yeah, you'd be looking at dealing with some mid to upper level enemies at most.
We've got Garenham over here on Monsieur Slime's side, so quite a bit of the town's popping up pretty quick. And Archfield Monk is in Garenham as well, the first one to go back and see what's in the treasure chest behind, as well as we have the back door basement there. Finds a fairy water, an herb, and gold. So other than the gold, nothing really too exciting for that. Meanwhile, we're going to go dive down and see what's down below. Monsieur Slime did not go down below. Gets hit by an armored knight, and sent home a knight. I apologize. What was that? That was the harp cave down there in the back of Garenham, was it?
Yes, the Staff of Rain Cave. Once our runners acquire the silver harp, they will trade that in to get the Staff of Rain, and the combination of the Staff of Rain, Stones of Sunlight, and Erdrick's token are what are needed to trade in for the Rainbow Drop.
Centroid saying that Holmes has found Cantlin off screen. That is big if he has the coordinates, as he is back home as well and is checking out the treasury. I did see that he did open up the basement, but didn't go down there. Is looking at a grind, so must have died in a cave somewhere a while.
Answer the question from Z-Man in chat. Yes, Erdrick's sword was in the throne room to start, so that allowed for things to theoretically move quickly here. And I don't believe that Mr. Holmes made it all the way down to the bottom of the grave, so that last chest is still a mystery. But Centroid 41, one of our trackers, is going to double check. Go to a little instant replay, courtesy of the VOD. And the back of Tandagel looks to be Swamp Cave North.
Indeed it did. I was about to make that comment myself, and as all the runners now, it looks like Archfield Monk has cleaned out the treasury. So I believe all of our runners have hit that wonderful treasury and are pretty tied up, pretty even here as anyone goes. No one seems to have any sort of large lead as far as levels go or exploration. This is still pretty tight. It's, of course, only 15 minutes in, but it's been a fast 15 minutes.
Crystal finding the Rainbow Drop Cave, affectionately known as the Jerk. Because if you don't have all the items, most notably Erdrick's token, he'll kick you out of the cave like the jerk that he is. So back to Garenham for Monsieur Slime.
Crystal finding another cave, taking a step in and gets met real quick by a green dragon. Tries to run away, does manage to get. It's going to do a quick heal and start the exploration. I don't see where we're at yet. This looks like this could be. I don't know. This is kind of hard to tell what this one is. It's Mountain Cave. No, I'm sorry, grave. I apologize. I said that wrong. That was the grave.
So Tristal going to pick up the silver harp.
and gets attacked by a wizard and sent back home, not able to go explore the bottom of the cave as the grave, and we'll have to take another run at it.
Archfield buying a large shield, so that's going to add 10 defense points to his total. That's going to reduce the pool of enemies that he's able to fight, which it's hard to say whether that's a good thing at this point, 15 minutes in.
Well, yeah, absolutely. At level 7, that's not a lot of strength. Only 27 strength. Yeah, there's not a lot that you're going to be able to take down even with the big sticks. So, it's definitely interesting to see. Maybe if has picked up the large shield, may go and get the armor as well, just to kind of finish off the set.
Well,
I mean, if you're already going to take damage, you might as well take reduction. You might as well take all the reduction.
Well, with 67 attack, I mean, you're looking... The enemies that you're kind of looking for, it's hit or miss as whether you'll be able to find them. I mean, the weakest enemy that you'll be able to find with 41 defense is a Wraith. Which is a pretty well mid-game type enemy. Definitely not something you'd normally see here at level 7, but as I say that, Archfield going after a Magiwyvern, which is definitely upper tier, and thanks to the sleep spell, able to take it out for 83 experience.
So Centroid did point out a little bit earlier on in the chat that Mr. Holmes did die on the hallway after finding chest 4, so has not found the bottom of the grave yet. Thank you, Centroid, for that. Alright, Mr. Holmes is going to go down, open up, I'm sorry, Monsieur Slime. There's so many people on here with the M in their name. I just get so confused. Is going down and is going to get the coordinates, so we'll see if he goes after the armor or if he just leaves that spot alone. Again, we don't know it's the armor. We're unsure at this point. It could be anything. It could be the token fault.
Yeah, it could be the death necklace.
Disregard. It looks like Mr. Holmes has already found the token. I haven't seen anyone else pick that up. That may have been off stream. Centroid, if you can confirm where that...
Monsieur Slime is going to go for the count. The token was in the mountain cave, which I'm presuming that Holmes went back to, but we have yet to see on stream.
So Monsieur Slime is doing the count. We do have Archfield Monk has found the freebie cave, which was just a little bit of gold, I think it was, and is noping out of that one.
Ooh, Wraith Knights with the Dragon Lord Two Breath.
Finds the death necklace. So that hidden spot that we were worried about on Crystal Stream is not armor, just a death necklace. Archfield Monk is in the mountain cave as well, so we may get to see the treasure chests that are in here actually on screen. That would be very helpful. Alright, and we've got the Magiwyvern being put to sleep. Gonna slowly work away, chip away at it, so we can keep moving on, but it is expensive in the form of HP and MP when that thing wakes up to bring yourself back. Ooh, Crystal takes a knight to the face and gets sent back home as well. Hartsfield does take down the Magiwyvern. It did a lot of work to get there, but does take it down, so we'll be able to continue the quest through the mountain.
Archfield seems to be pacing back and forth.
It's dark. Probably lost a little bit.
Or might just be looking for these Magiwyverns to grind.
That's a very slow grind, however. It takes a little bit of work to get through. But not a bad idea if that is the intent, because they are worth a lot of experience when you take it down, and they are very susceptible to sleep, it seems. So just put them to sleep and beat on them until they go away.
Plus, they should get level 8 here, I believe, for Archfield. Yep. 1 power, 3 speed, 0 hit points, 7 magic points, and a spell.
Meanwhile, didn't even notice Monsieur Slime is also in the top of Mountain Cave. Did just hit those 2 treasure chests and picks up Erdrick's token himself. A lot of action happening here on all 4 screens. Even with trying to commentate it and following all 4, it gets a little hard to keep up with everybody. So with that, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to our trackers. We've got Camion, and we've got
Centroid 41.
Centroid 41 is our trackers keeping up with these runners. Also, a big shout out to the runners themselves. We've got Mr. Holmes, who is currently our number 1 seed, Tristal MTG, who is our number 8 seed, Archfield Monk, the number 9 seed, and Monsieur Slime, the number 16 seed, doing these runs. If you guys enjoy this content, be sure to give them a follow as well, as you can see quite a bit of this sort of gameplay as they practice and warm up. They're not the only ones that play. My co-commentator, Ferran Burgundy, also plays and is a great streamer as well. Be sure to give him a follow. And if you'd like, myself, if you feel up to it. And a big shout out to Math Girl for our restreaming as well.
Monsieur Slime looking to take a Death Warp here, constantly putting on the Dragon Scale. And I wonder what was in the upper floor of the Mountain Cave. We saw we got the Magic Key, the Erdrick's Token, the Torch, and some gold deep in the second floor of the Mountain Cave. But what was on that top floor?
You know, I missed it the first time, and then the second time I saw someone go into that cave, they bypassed it altogether. So my assumption is nothing really that.
Centroid, fairly confident that it's wings. I'll put it with a question mark in my notes. So as far as treasures go, yeah, we're pretty well explored. The only things that have not yet been opened in terms of treasures outside of Sharlock are the one deep in Garen's grave, and over on Monsieur Slime's side, oh look, Breckenary. And just that quickly departing.
Look, that's a cheap inn. Let's not overlook the importance of a cheap night's stay, okay? We got Motel 6 hanging out in.
Oh no, that was that was more so for a good friend of mine with the other half of the Keystone Connection on commentary, Z-Man, who is less than enthralled any time that Breckenary appears. You heard him commentate the race earlier this evening, and did a fantastic job as always.
And that was quite a race as well. Mr. Holmes does find Hawksness. Yay.
And Sharlock.
And I was going to mention, I believe the only other overworld location that we can find is obviously the back of, or not the back, the trap tile on Hawksness, and the Token Cave, I believe, is the only other place that we have not fully explored.
the tablet cave, and speak of it, here is Monsieur Slime in the tablet cave, so we'll see what awaits in the chest there.
That was the word I was looking for. Thank you. Words is hard for me today. I do apologize for my.
No worries. I do words for a living, so I'm more than happy to assist where I can as little financial assistance on Monsieur Slime's side, finding some gold in the tablet cave. No spell of outside yet, so I'm going to have to take that long walk back. It takes about 20 to 25 seconds. Or if you bonk around like me, it's closer to 30.
Yeah, that is definitely not a cave you want to go in without any sort of lighting. It's terrible. You get lost in there. There's no enemies to kick you back out. It could be a long time.
Yeah, I attempted to practice it a couple of times and realized that it was, at least for me at the time, a fool's errand. But some of the more premier runners can certainly do it with little difficulty whatsoever.
Improv is pointing out that Holmes did pick up it looks like the stones of sunlight. And where were those lovely, hopeful things?
The stones of sunlight, that was in coal. It was discovered by a couple of our runners roughly, oh golly, what felt like about 20 minutes ago, and we're only 26 minutes into the seed, so it feels like an eternity ago by comparison. And, well, as Mr. Holmes back up on stream, a reminder to drink responsibly should you so choose. Alright, so now taking a look here in Breckenridge. Okay. So a chainmail for Monsieur Slime, that will add, I believe it's 10 defense to the total. Yes, 10 defense points. So all hovering there in the low 40s, except for Tristal still at 31. The lower your defense, the more enemies you can encounter. The higher the defense, the more enemies are repelled as you go along through. Now, it should note that with this flag setting of permanent repel, our runners will not learn the spell of repel, as it's kind of redundant in this case. So there will only be the 9 spells that they will learn, and the only 3 remaining are Radiant, Outside, and Hurtmore. And Mr. Holmes taking out a green dragon for 135 experience. And that should be enough to get him to level 9. Nine power, 2 speed, 6 hit points, 2 magic points. The strength looking a little lackluster, which is good that early on right in the beginning, they got Erdrick's sword. Otherwise, we'd be here deep into the night. Now, this is a randomizer, so there's no guarantee that we still can avoid that, but all we can do is hope. So Holmes back into coal, probably to make an in-stop. And Tristal, meanwhile, going to head back through the swamp cave, or at least into the swamp cave. So the attack is getting there. It's less than ideal, but it's good for a lot of the enemies that they are taking on here. It's 77 attack. Well, your Rogue Scorpion, you're looking at 4 attacks on average to take one out. Stone Man's a little ambitious on Monsieur Slime's part. Especially at level 8 with 9 less attack. Ooh, and Sleep very commonly works against a Stone Man, but in this case it did not. It was that 2 out of 16 chance that it didn't, and that allowed for the Stone Man to send Monsieur Slime back. Meanwhile, level 10, 21 MP and, oh, another 12 agility. So again, thank goodness for the sword, as a combination of high agility and low strength is not what you want in a permanent repel seed. Now you see the numbers of different colors. When you see the statistics go to an orange, well, that means that it's a borderline stat. Maybe if some other ones are in the green, you might think about it. If you see a stat is green, you know that's pretty well good enough to go and take on the Dragon Lord. But with everything else being in white, still making the climb, not so much. And yes, agility is joked upon by the community as just a suggestion, as the agility also affects your run rate, and there are times where even with really high agility, it seems like you can't run from, well, any enemy. And then there are some times where with really low agility, you're able to somehow outrun red dragons and armored knights, some of the most agile enemies in the game. Basically, it doesn't make sense, is where I'm going with that.
I like your analogy.
Try to make sense of the senseless.
With a randomizer, it's all pretty much senseless, don't you think?
Yeah, our tracker putting it best, this game is a savage.
There are always quite a few times where that random monster pops up that you think is going to be easy peasy, and no, you can't get away from it. You can't run. You got to waste a spell and hope that you can outlast it. But it takes you down and sends you home. It's never any fun. Your numbers didn't matter to it. It didn't.
Cyberdark86 noting when you get run blocked by a blue slime, the weakest enemy in the game, and it happens to have the spell of sleep and the Dragon Lord 2 breath. We have I'm pretty sure that a majority, if not all of us, have done so here, and also noting validations. There was a search of what is known as a Sparkover bridge tile. So Sparkover, one of the runners in the community, she likes bridges, and there's a particular bridge named after her. It is a bridge that goes to a single tile. And it generally gets searched for validation, quote-unquote, in the hope that maybe I don't even know what the odds would be, but I'd say probably the likelihood of winning the Powerball and Mega Millions jackpots in the same week, likelihood of finding the overworld spot on that bridge to the one tile. Not necessarily on the bridge, although that would be interesting in itself, but that single tile on the opposite side of the bridge.
It could happen. It could happen, and if someone gets that recorded, it will be epic.
Yeah, it's right up there with the true empty eye level. A level where the only thing that goes up is your level number. No strength, no agility, no hit points, and no magic points.
Centroid pointed out, it's 1 in 16,384. I don't think it's quite that. What's the maximum size for one of these?
Oh goodness, you'd think I would know this here.
You are a stats man.
120 by 1, or 1, was it 120? I thought it was 120 by 120. Maybe it is 128 by 128.
Oh, we got conflicting. We got 120 by 120 and 128 by 128 in the chat. I'm gonna go with 120 by 120, as Tilo points out. So yeah, I'm gonna go.
My hunch was correct. All right, I thought it was 120, but I've misremembered things before. It's common.
So for those of you that like doing math, if you want to figure out what the odds are, one in a 120 by 120 map, enjoy yourself.
Oh, that's why. Dragon Warrior 4 randomizer is 128 by 128. Okay.
No, 7-8. You don't have to leave if you don't like math. You can still hang out. Alright, we got Monsieur Slime is doing a bit of level grinding, it looks like, down in this little sand area. Found the green dragon and ran away. Didn't fight it, is moving on. Didn't like that grind spot.
Oh yeah, if there's a less than desirable enemy... Okay, 1 in roughly 10 to 12,000, accounting for water tiles. So, yeah, I joked about the lottery jackpots, but no, it's something that is fairly uncommon, especially if it's something that is streamed here in a race capacity here on the Randomania networks or perhaps RPG Limit Break.
Absolutely, that would be impressive. And Tristal has found that depth necklace that has avoided him for this long time. Everyone was, well, T seemed like was playing it safe, as you mentioned earlier, and not wanting to pick up that tile on fear that it was going to be Erdrick's armor. Figures level 11 is okay to pick it up, and it wasn't, so still must go search. Have we found what's in Hawksmith yet? I don't know. I know Mr. Holmes has found it, but then noped out. So has anybody else gone back in there yet? I haven't seen.
I don't believe so.
Because that is the last place we have to look, as we had the tablet cave right after I mentioned that was the only cave we hadn't seen. And of course, the very, very bottom of the...
Oof. And Archfield Monk running into the fire-breathing Wraith Knight.
Look at this. As I speak it, it shall happen. Crystal is going into Hawksnest and is going to step on that trap tile to see what's there. And it's just an Axe Knight. So this is something that we can definitely take out without too much concern. So we'll get to see hopefully what's underneath, as well as potentially a grind.
Seems like a pretty good one, especially if Hurtmore is learned at the next level here.
Patiently waiting, does take it out, gets the 130 experience, searches, and finds...
Nada. So...
That's very interesting, because now you have kind of an interesting situation. You've got 7 treasure chests in the final area, in Sharlock, and 1 treasure chest at the bottom of the grave. Now, obviously, some of the runners hasn't gone through the grave, so they may pick it up at the same time. But if that's what our odds are, I'm guessing it's going to be in Sharlock.
And I have a hunch, especially those who have already traversed through part of the grave and had taken a death, it's uncommon to see a runner double back to the grave unless there's an important item that is needed there. Holmes back up now, and well, time for a hunger break.
Listen, it's never good when a runner's network keeps cutting out, but if we get to keep coming back to queso, I'm not gonna complain. Looks like Mr. Holmes is back in Hawksness as well. Now that the screen is back alive, that's does do a quick heal. Looks like this is a grind spot for.
Yeah, this race's ads are definitely speaking to me. We've seen Mexican food and beer. That's dinner champions right there. Which is why I'm not competing in this race and I'm commentating.
Alright, Tristal is taking on a green dragon, is getting beat down a little bit, but does have the heal more, so is able to survive, gets through, and moves on. I don't see a whole lot happening on this side other than just a little bit of fight. Still has to go down and find the token, which was in Mountain Cave, I believe, so not explored that yet. And still has to find the Silver Harp Cave. Meanwhile, Archfield Monk, it doesn't look like has picked up any of the quest items yet.
Alright, and Holmes out of resources, just taking the death now at level 11. Using that to attempt to catch up here, it looks like, as far as the experience, although not trailing by too terribly much. Monsieur Slime has been a little bit snake-bitten here in terms of running into some enemies, having them send him back, having to go traverse again. There's certainly a point where the tilt factor can come in if you're trying to keep going and going and going, and all you keep running into is death.
I know a thing or two about that rage factor for sure.
For those who saw my Week 5 race, how many times did I have the table flip gif up on my screen? It was mainly for the lulz, the entertainment value.
Yeah, Wicked, I've got one it's called Chair Rage. When you just get so mad, you just gotta destroy your chair.
So a question in chat, do we have a known Erdrick's armor location that we can't grab yet due to the lack of firepower? We do not. At this point, Erdrick's armor is in one of 8 different treasure chests, and 7 of them are in Sharlock, which are not yet accessible, or might soon be in a couple of our runners' cases. But the 8th wildcard factor is deep in Garen's grave. So there is that 12.5% remaining chance that our runners, if they want that armor, which they are very likely going to want to, might have to double back into Garen's grave to get it, those who have already been there.
Smashy pointing out 12 is a great level. I did not see where Archfield went to after 12 hit. Looks like 9, 3, possibly 13, and 9 again. That's pretty good. That's very good.
And level 10 now for Monsieur Slime.
Has confirmed wings on top of the mountain, so you can erase your question mark.
Alrighty. For those scoring at home like myself, Wings on a Mountain, a as opposed to the Frillin Husky country hit from a couple generations ago, Wings of a Dove. That's a whole different story.
If we've got Wings of a Dove, could a spark over bridge be a bridge over troubled?
It probably could. You know what? Let's not Garfunkel around anymore. Let's get back to the race here.
We did have Mr. Holmes. Turned in his harp, got the Staff of Rain, and now has all the goodies needed to get that rainbow. Chat pointing out he's almost in grind and go mode. Not quite. May still do a little bit of searching for that armor. May do a mock dive through Charlotte Castle if does pick up the rainbow drop just to see what's in there. Definitely faster to go through all that and hope and cross fingers and go for that 7 out of 8 chance. Meanwhile, we've got Crystal just cleared out the tablet cave, and Monsieur Slime is moving towards treasure chest 4 in the grave, so we do have a second grave peek. This may be our opportunity to see if we're going to get a full grave. Meanwhile, chat is yelling at our. Well, they're all yelling at him. Okay, it looks like
they're emphatically all concurrently agreeing that yes, the flags that you see here are just like the standard tournament flags that you would see during the summer tournament, with the only exception being added permanent repel.
Did you see what happened on Mr. Slime's slide? Monsieur Slime took a stone man to the face, so we gotta wait that little bit longer to go to the grave. We might not even see it. We don't know. Meanwhile, Crystal is exploring the mountain. Have we seen treasure chest number 5 in the mountain yet?
We have. So the upper floor was Wings, and then the upper 2 on the bottom floor were Magic Key and Erdrick's Token. Then there was a torch toward the bottom right, and then the long trail leads to some gold.
Thank you very much. See, I knew I could count on you.
As accurate as I can be. And yes, Zarnax42 noting as well, one of the tenured individuals in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community, that Repel also works in dungeons. That is a little bit of a twist from the norm. So that means that at this point, we're looking at some of our runners with the 50 defense at this point. So that means Wolf Lords are out of the mix. So the weakest enemy they'll find is a Droll Magi.
That's it's a lot of pain. A lot of pain for our players. Meanwhile, Monsieur Slime did find the exchange cave, exchanged the harp for the Staff of Rain, and is now ready to move out and get the rainbow drop as soon as he manages to find the jerk, who's going to be a little bit less of a jerk because you have the things that he wants.
Yep, so you'll say now the sun and rain shall meet and give you the rainbow drop and go from there.
Alrighty, Crystal has just cleared out the mountain caves and does see that gold that you were mentioning. So, yeah, totally right. Way to go. I'm proud of you, Faran. You're very great at this.
I'm kind of okay.
I might have to start taking notes myself when we have runs like this with all this going on, so I can try to keep track. I sit here and watch and forget of who's found what and which caves and which one's been cleared. And it's definitely quite a fun blast to watch these people. Sometimes I just get caught up in watching them and forget to notate what's actually going on.
The notes are just to help keep things in line. It's what I do as a broadcast journalist.
Mr. Holmes is into the tablet cave. Gonna go clear it out now and find that obligatory nothing worth your time treasure chest. And we've got, looks like Crystal is doing a slow, sad, painful walk out of the mountain cave with no outside, unable to get out quickly, and is trying to find way back without any light as the little tiny bit of torch that they had is now gone.
And Tristal taking a death. Not sure if it was intentional or not.
There was a lot of back and forth walking. Maybe figured just a quick death out of there and back to the castle. Maybe wants to do some exploring around here again. They're pretty... Yeah, Smashy pointed out, did see a lot of pacing. So yes, I think it may have been intentional. Looks like it has a lot of gold and is going to be taking a visit to the armory over here, the armor shop. He's going to be picking up the large shield, taking away quite a bit of that monies, and with that does boost up the defense a little bit.
And we have a rainbow drop on Monsieur Slime's side.
Mr. Holmes is back and just in time as he is searching the grave again. So once again, on the way over to treasure chest 4. I thought that Mr. Holmes had picked up 4, but apparently it does want to pick it up again. It looks like there's a fairy water. Not useful in this unless you want to throw it at something. Fairy water having the same effect as repel, and again with everything being on permanent repel, you don't need.
Cyberdark noting that he had forgotten that he had gone down there and realized right after the fact. Now, a little bit of a twist here with this newest version of Dragon Warrior Randomizer is that fairy water and torches can be used as projectile weapons toward your enemies. So you can use it once, and in the case of a torch, it'll do from 6 to 9 hit points of damage, and in the case of the fairy water, it works in the same way as a hurt spell. Does a damage range of, I believe, 9 to 16 hit points of damage, maybe 8 to 16.
Mr. Holmes fighting the Dark Knight, the Demon Knight, inside a blacked out cave. One of my favorite fights. I really enjoy seeing this fight because it's just a blank screen that you're swinging.
Just slashing in the dark.
Crystal has turned in everything needed, convinces the jerk to let go of his wares, gets the rainbow drop, and so now 3 of our players do have the rainbow drop. I'm pretty sure I saw Mr. Holmes go in exchange as well, but I could be mistaken as the tracker doesn't have that listed, and I trust their eyes better.
And smashing a good point and a great Monty Python reference, the fairy water essentially turning into the holy hand grenade of Alefgard instead of Antioch. Only no need to count to 3 here in this. We just toss it.
Nor 5.
No, 5 is right out.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. That was the only response I was looking for, and I appreciate it.
Ah, yes. Well, I could have also gone 3, sir.
1, 2, 5!
3, sir.
Camion, you are, you're off by a movie. That's actually not Life of Brian, that's Holy Grail that makes that right.
And deep in the grave is the Fighter's Ring. So that will add 2 attack points to the total, which could be pivotal given that strength is kind of at a premium here at level 12.
Absolutely. So we've got our big hit now. We've got as strong as we can be with the biggest sword we can have. So we are definitely ready to punch at things. As we've not picked up heal more yet, that's what we've got to go with, unfortunately.
Yeah, looking for that hurt more spell to be able to take on things, but that also means that Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game, and also negates all that swamp and barrier tile damage. You have to go through those barrier tiles in Sharlock to even make your way down to look for the armor.
All right, Archfield has picked up the silver harp. That is definitely helpful. That's the last special item that Archfield needed to be able to trade in with, get the Staff of Rain and get the rainbow drop. So Archfield has caught up as far as crucial items go. And so everyone else, unbeknownst to them, they're pretty much all just going to be in punch and go until they can get good enough to go through Sharlock.
They are looking for a few things. Now, look, Archfield gonna head on over, and this might be the way to go here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Hax Knight is easy peasy at this level. Looks like Monsieur Slime turns in the rainbow drop for kick. Oh, it looks like he's going back, taking a quick trip into Cantlin first, maybe going to rest up before he goes in there. Realized as he was opening his menu to get the rainbow drop out that he didn't have a whole lot of anything worth diving with.
Archfield, as you can see, just working on the grind and already furthering the experience lead. And after this Axe Knight here, should he take it out, we'll see what level 13 brings. 1 power, 7 speed, 0 hit points, 4 magic points, but a spell, and it's hurt more.
And that just blew this game wide open for Archfield. We know, as the commentators, and he doesn't know, but we know that there's nothing left. The only thing you can do is go through Sharlock. So hurt more the Axe Knight sitting there in that Hawksness tile and just do away.
Hurt more, heal a little bit, repeat. That's pretty much the game plan until you have the stats to at least go. And on that, this is I guess you may potentially have to make 2 different dives. One to look for the armor, and then recover everything, recover all your stats and whatnot, and then go for game from there. I don't know if you necessarily can go all the way down and with limited resources then find the armor and be like, alright, I'm good to go.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Smashy pointing out that Archfield is going deep down into the grave and is going to be doing that dive. I don't know if Archfield has explored the grave yet, so this may be the a one and done for him as well, even if he doesn't get it either way. Cyberdark pointing out that with 91 hit points, he would grind his way down, and that's not a bad idea. It's very possible you'd make it down there strong enough. But again, we don't have Erdrick's armor to heal us up as much as we step, and we're not getting over those tiles, so you're definitely using the heal more as you're going. All right, Mr. Holmes is on the grind area now, as well as Tristal. So we got simultaneous grinds over here on the top of your screen. It's not a bad idea as Mr. Holmes takes the experience lead back from Arch.
Well, true. Archfield doesn't know that, while it's a bit of a consolation prize in a sense, the fighter's ring, not exactly the armor that he's looking for.
Someone just stands there, waves their hand over. This is not the armor you're looking for. Monsieur Slime does find way into Cantlin, picks up a shield as well, does have the large shield. Maybe starting that grind, maybe just moving around. Looks like still exploring, so I don't know if you have written down, is there anything that I've not noticed that Monsieur Slime has explored? It looks like going into Hawksness for the grind as well.
I believe that is the case here.
And Hawksness is close too, like that is not very far away, but Crystal saying nope and runs out. I think Crystal did finish off, ran out of MP possibly. Yeah, 6 MP, definitely didn't have enough to continue.
And let's see, Archfield, it looks like, has gotten the fighter's ring and is gonna take on the Stone Man, and didn't quite have enough, but figured, alright, Death Warp was happening anyway. I was hoping that it was the Erdrick's armor. It's kind of like the new car of a game show, but instead the fighter's ring, more like a consolation prize, such as Rice-A-Roni, the big flavor side dish that's so quick, so easy. Saute and simmer to flavor perfection. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor at all.
Fantastic. It wasn't a whammy, but I like Rice-A-Roni.
I don't know. I just that's pretty much the quintessential game show consolation prize. Fair agreement on that?
Barbara, you have won yourself a brand new car. This car is valued at $20,000. Mr. Holmes, you got Rice-A-Roni. Congratulations, you're both winners. All right, we've got 3 of our players grinding now, so it seems like we have found where we're going to be. Archfield Monk is picking up the the Staff of Rain, trading in that Silver Harp, so he'll be able to get his Rainbow Drop as well. Now, one thing to consider with these runners that we haven't talked about yet, or at least that I can remember, and if we have talked about it, well, it's time to talk about it again. This is the quarterfinal run. There's no points. There is no, well, maybe somebody else will do bad and you will get through this. Absolutely not. Only the top 2 runners today get to move on. First and second place secure their spot in the final 8, while the bottom 2 are unfortunately sent home packing. No Rice-A-Roni for them. So you definitely need to get your speed in gear and get going through this. It's a mad dash essentially at this point. You've got to get going. Our last race that was on this same channel ended within 4 minutes of each other and right around the 1 hour mark. So this race has gone now longer than the last one. So you got to think that people are getting a little bit antsy at this point.
Especially given the fast start in the beginning with Erdrick's sword. Now that we're an hour in, it's kind of, all right, where are they compared to me? Who's already on a grind? What exactly is going on here? And this is where you can see, this is where Mr. Holmes just starts to pull away. The efficiency of the grind. And just dedicating to it. Already 1,500 experience ahead of the next person, which is Tristal.
Meanwhile, Zarnax is pointing out something very important in chat. No consolation prize. I want everyone to know. Everyone could get a copy, the in-home copy of this game. All you got to do is download it right there. Cyberdark points out that is the Dragon Warrior Randomizer. If you are enjoying this, you can play this yourself at home. No need to worry. No need to be on the big game show. You can do this yourself. Download the Dragon Warrior Randomizer, get it all set up, and walks you through everything. And this could be you.
Yep, and you can also join the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Discord as, well, there's a training room in there so you can hone your skills, and as noted here, well, come summer tournament time, you could be competing in and, well, you could be making the playoffs yourself here.
Absolutely, and it's a great community too. Let's go ahead and point out that everyone here is, pretty cool. We all have fun. There you go. I just wanted to, say that we're cool. Archfield, now that he has picked up everything that he needs, I do believe has gotten the rainbow drop as well, is now on that grind. So we've got Mr. Holm, Archfield, and Tristal on the grind spot, and Monsieur Slime doesn't seem to be satisfied with that grind area. Either that or just doesn't want to do it. I'm a bit concerned. Looks like he's diving into the grave again.
Yeah, I don't believe that Monsieur Slime has completely cleared the grave, so I think he is on a hunt for that Erdrick's armor. The drawback to that, though, is, everybody else is grinding and getting ready to go, so this is a diversion here at this point. And here is level 14, 6, 9, 18, and 4. So we're in triple-digit attack.
And level 15 was go mode in the earlier race, and with this attack power, with the hit points, the hit points, the MP is good, but the attack power is just too low, not enough.
And I was gonna say, I was looking at Archfield and Tristal's screens. It was one of those blink and you miss it. Holmes already, as you'd mentioned, at 15.
Right, yeah, and it was not as wonderful and powerful as it seems. Again, with only having 103 attack power, you don't have enough to take on the Dragon Lord. So real quick math again, because I did say you didn't have to like math to be in here, but you do have to at least understand it in order to be able to get some of these numbers down. When you fight the Dragon Lord, there's a quick, easy way to know how much damage approximately you're going to do. You take your attack power, you take 100 off of it right away. You divide that in half, that becomes your maximum, and then you divide that in half again, and that becomes your minimum. So put that right in the middle. That's your average number of swings. The Dragon Lord can have anywhere between, 145 and 164?
150 to 165.
150 to 165. So if you know your average is right around 10, you know it's going to take you between 15 and 17 swings. So you need to account for that many Healmores. Healmores are 8 MP apiece. So if you need 10 Healmores, that's 80 MP. So right now, we're sitting at approximately 12 Healmores at level 15. And we've got Sonic. So, yeah.
Not the Hedgehog.
So what level are we going to see the attack power go up that we need? 103 that's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, to circle back to another Monty Python reference, you could barely nip the bum of the Dragon Lord with 103 attack power.
Yeah, at this point, you are definitely not the killer rabbit. You are the first little knight that's in there. Boars, I believe his name is. That
Yes.
expecting to go in and chop its head off, and yet not.
Any attempt to take on the Dragon Lord at this point with these statistics will leave you soiling your armor like brave Sir Robin.
Charging gallantly like Sir Lancelot, and leave like Sir Robin. Alrighty, Archfield back on the grind spot again, is taking on them Axe Knights, and I think this is going to be something that we see for quite a while. I don't think anybody is keen on leaving at this point. Now that Monsieur Slime has cleared the grave with no outside, does have to do a slow walk back. Kind of surprised with no death, but does manage to get all the way out. I don't believe that there's any other caves left to explore for anybody at this point. Everyone should pretty much know where everything's at and what they're supposed to be doing.
So a question in chat here, do players grind, then dive to loot and win, or do a dive for the armor? I think, given the... I mean, I guess it depends on where the armor is, but the fact that you have so many barrier tiles that each one that you walk on does 15 HP of damage, I have a feeling that you'll have to do a separate dive for the armor because you'll just use so many resources.
I'm going to be on Cyberdark's side here. Loot and then win. And the reason for that is because you're going to be trying to focus more on running away to get through this. And as I pointed out, you've only got 103 attack power at level 15, so you don't even scratch the surface. So instead of wasting all that time to run down there for nothing, you may as well just get it on your way through when you've got the appropriate attack power and call it good then. Cyberdark pointing out that magic armor would help. It would indeed, and with these Axe Knight grind, you can get there 165 gold a time. I mean, eventually you may get up to the required, was it 9,000 or 7,000 for magic?
Magic armor is 7,700. I mean, Holmes is already there, and I mean, given how much he's grinding, might he be thinking Silver Shield possibly? The best shield in the game and the most expensive of any of the weaponry or armory?
Yeah, I don't see why not. A minimal 1 attack power gain with the new level, so yeah, I would think defense would be the way to go with it.
14,800 is what would be needed to purchase the Silver Shield, and that would add 20 defense to Holmes's total. Currently not... well, doesn't have a shield at all for that matter.
Yeah, true, but unless we see some sort of amazing strength gain on the on a couple levels here, it's going to take probably quite a few more, so that defense is going to go up with it as well. What is the defense power that's recommended? I cannot remember on this one.
To take on the Dragon Lord, you generally want to have a minimum of 86 defense. Now, if Holmes, for example, at where he's currently at, picks up the Silver Shield, that'll boost him up to 81, and that chainmail leaves a lot of extra room as well. So with an armor upgrade of some sort, I mean, that could make the walk through Charlotte Castle much tamer.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So we do have a big difference over here. Tristal has the, I believe it was a half plate and that large shield, so we can see just the difference in in defense power between him and Mr. Holmes with just those couple little pieces there. So picking up the armor on the way down would put that one within range. So looks like we're stopping by the extra armor shop here to see what we have, and we don't have the shield. So unfortunately going to have to keep looking around.
Yeah, I recall that near the castle, Rimmeldar, I believe, had the silver shield. But I, again, might be misremembering because that was...
It was quite a while ago.
That was about 70 minutes ago, yeah.
Tristal does pick up a full plate, ditches the half plate, picks up another half, goes full. So a little bit more, went up about 8 defense points, so that's definitely helpful. Probably enough, is enough if you go and get the armor on the way down. And again, still going to have to go up some other levels too, so we may see that defense power go up to a reasonable level while we're waiting for the strength to go up.
Here comes level 17 for Holmes. 11 power, 1 speed, 21 hit points, and 6 magic points. And doesn't think that it's enough.
No, definitely closer, but not enough. That would have gained about 5, I believe, defense points to it, maybe 6, depending on what end of the spectrum they were on. So that's still only 110. So you're still not doing much. 115 is where we're at. So you're swinging for 4 to 7, 3 to 7.
Yep, 3 to 7. With a maximum of 165, you're averaging 33 attacks on the Dragon Lord.
Shin pointing out that Death Necklace may be in play. 136 hit points definitely could be. So that is a possibility that, because we haven't seen it, or I haven't seen it in so many runs in a while, that, yeah, that may be something to do. Not sure if Mr. Holmes has picked up the Death Necklace yet, as the in and outs of the stream, I've not been able to see it, but every other player has, so I would be confident that he would have it as well. So that's not too bad. That adds, what, an additional 20 strength, so another potential 10 to the max?
Well, no, it's 10 strength, or not even 10 strength, 10 attack power, excuse me, and it comes at the cost of 25% of your maximum HP.
That's what I was looking for. 10 attack power, so that's another 5 to the max. So with this, that would put the damage anywhere between, at that point, 6 to 12-ish. Still not great, but...
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was trying to say, where were you getting the 5 from? I thought you were kind of having it.
It would add Holmes.
Okay. It would add roughly, as far as the range, about 2.5. So it would take you from, in this case, 3 to 7 as the range, to 6 to 12 with 125. So it's still not going to be enough. We're definitely going to be looking for another level, but there is the silver shield for Mr. Holmes. So that puts him up to 81 defense, and still room for plenty more with the once Erdrick's armor is found.
Yeah, so right now all we're waiting on is that attack power. We need to see it up to probably about 100 and, I would say, at least a good 120 regular if we are going to use the Death Necklace, and 130 if we don't.
And I think, if I saw that right, Holmes at some point had upgraded to the half-plate armor, as the defense was 87. That would be the 6 defense differential. So, with that 87 defense, once Holmes does go through Charlotte Castle, because, again, permanent repel is on, and it works in dungeons and caves, so that includes Charlotte Castle. So that means no wizard encounters, no Star Wyvern encounters and no Werewolf encounters. And depending on how much more strength, or rather, excuse me, how much more agility is gained, if any, at level 18, then you're looking at green dragons not being in play, and then there's only 6 of the 10 enemies that you have the potential to encounter.
Yeah, and our runners do have a pretty high agility as well, so again, we mentioned at least earlier on, it is just a suggestion, but hopefully if it plays well with us, you can run from a lot of those encounters, try to get away and not hurt yourself. But they have a lot of MP too, so even if they've got to do a little bit of healing to make up for it, they can. The only thing is that the Erdrick's armor gives you that passive healing every time you take a step. So you're not going to have that. So if they do get a bad encounter, or they do get something they can't run from right away, they're going to definitely need to burn off some heal mores. So Mr. Holmes is working his way through. Looks like going to be working on to level 18. Definitely going to be trying to get there, and I think we should have it here. Power by 6, speed by 1, hit points by 3, and magic points by 15. Holy cow, so we got 121. So this is probably go mode for Mr. Holmes. Definitely enough hit points with 139 to survive with the death necklace. As long as he's got the death necklace, assuming he does, this could be enough for Mr. Holmes to go for. So 18 might be our magic level, because that is a 15 max, 7 minimum. So you're looking, it's right around 11. That's not bad. That's 14 attacks, and you've got 109 MP.
Let's see. Presuming the death necklace would be used here to be an average of 15 attacks, and with 124 MP, you have, presuming you keep it all on the way down, and that's a big presumption, you have 15 heal mores. So
the math adds up.
The math adds up to it being go time. It's a matter of how problematic is Charlotte going to be, and will a second run have to be made?
You know, I think you've been talking about this second run over and over and over again, and I doubted you, but now I have a realization. You're right. Because of all the trap tiles ahead of time, you're going to burn off a couple heal mores going down there. So now it all makes sense why you keep thinking it's going to be a second one, because you're gonna need those heal mores when you get down to the bottom. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, the agility is high, and then on top of it, once the armor is found, that's going to be another 12 defense on top of what's already there. So these stone men that Holmes is encountering, once he gets the armor, they'll no longer be encountered.
What about that golem that he just found right afterwards?
Golems you'll still deal with. I have not seen a seed where somebody has 120 defense to ignore the red dragons and golems.
What a
But
mighty
it looks like,
thing.
it looks like the Mr. Holmes encounter luck is he is known for having, meaning not good at all. Yeah, the Mr. Holmes encounter rate in Sherlock seeming to do its thing, so that's making things already challenging for him here.
And again, and without that passive healing with the walking, no magic armor and no Erdrick's armor, I'm starting to see your reason and line of thinking for a dive for the armor, death warp out, heal up, it's real close, and go at it.
You don't even necessarily need to death warp out. You could just cast outside and
Well, yeah, there is
save
that.
yourself a little bit of a walk, because there is a town. That town's Hawks's though. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I suppose.
Morgan feels that unless someone calls the cops, that Mr. Holmes is going to do it. I don't know. The Fun Police, yeah, that's definitely going to shut things down, but really anything in here could shut him down if he does not get away. There's no passive healing right now, so one bad encounter, it could be. Meanwhile, Monsieur Slime, Tristal, and Archfield are going at it to level up, and I mean, Monsieur Slime took a little bit of time to catch up with the exploring, but is on the same level, level 16, so is doing okay as far as leveling up goes and catching.
Oh, there is a heal more burned there. Alright, so Holmes, based on his movement, is on the 4th basement of 7 in Sharlock. Now, is he going to divert for the vanilla Erdrick Sword location, or is he going to go down to the 6th in the Treasury?
I think you got to go Judge's Table. It's a short walk to get past there, and you know that it's in here, so you might as well take it. I mean, you're not going to complete any.
The Judge's Table, a reference to, well, as noted earlier, that was noted off stream, but a lot of us here are fans of various game shows, and we decided, since the 6 treasure chests are shaped like a pyramid, we decided to turn it into the like the old Dick Clark game show from back in the 70s and 80s, but most popular version in the 80s. We take the winner's circle values from the $25,000 pyramid and apply those to those 6 chests. So bottom left would be $50, bottom middle would be $100, bottom right $150, middle left would be $200, middle right $250, and the top chest $300. And if you think it's in the vanilla location for Erdrick's Sword, which is way off on a different floor, that's referred to as the Judge's Table.
So you may not have noticed, or you may have, Tristal is also diving Sharlock. So we got dual Sharlock dives right now at level 18. So this could be a run and a race right here. But again, looks like Tristal has burned through all of his herbs. So I think that we are going to see probably a snatch and grab and run out.
Alright, so we've got gold in the bottom right. There's Erdrick's armor in the $100 chest.
I think we're still going to do it. I think so. 113 MP. I think he's going for it. Probably staying in here to see if he can find some herbs. And does. So where we got this, herbs are good. Let's see if he continues to go south. He doesn't. He is going for it. No outside. We're going to see a Dragon Lord fight. This is quite great. Oh, it's definitely far from a gimme. Absolutely, as Lorgan pointing out in chat. It's not a freebie. This is going to be a clincher on this one. Still not swinging super high. We're swinging between 7 and 15 if we get down to the Dragon Lord without another level. So it's going to be a good one.
Well, another level's definitely not coming. 14,250 was what was needed for 18. 16,500 is what would be needed for 19. And yeah, not even close to that here. As Holmes and Tristal just 31 experience apart from one another. Now 205 thanks to that Armored Knight Guardian. And it's going to use the herb.
Couple steps to get that life
He's
back
not
up.
going Death Necklace. Interesting.
Ooh, that's risky, because now you're swinging between 5 and 10.
Unless he's going to put it on during the first battle. Okay, yep.
Okay, alright, so we've got a fight here. Death Necklace is on, and we've got Tristal is picking up the armor, assuming that he gets past the golem that was guarding the $50. Alright, we've got Dragon Lord coming in hot. No back attack, so we are going to get to see a swing. We got 13. And we're at 22. 31.
So a little below average for the moment.
I think that 8 was on it, so that should put it at 39. Assuming that I did see that right. Another big hit of 13 puts it at 60.
52.
52. Yes.
Now 62. So, yeah, okay, you're getting a little
I
ahead of
knew
yourself.
I knew what was up. I knew what
The
was
game
up.
knows.
And with having so many hit points, able to tank a lot of shots, we're up to 70 right now. Can get a lot of chances for double attacks, so that is good. 83, fight still going strong. 90.
Min roll is 7 there, minimum roll.
$104. I think we're doing okay. We've still got a good 5 left to go. So that's 113. So with 113, we're looking at maybe 4 more hits and 5 heal mores. 125. I think I lost count. I think that's 123.
Oh, nice attack there. 137. Yeah, barring a miss menu here, this should be good.
Meanwhile, Tristal is going into Dragon Lord. We got a 15. Oh, it's a tough one. So he is going to take the heal more in order to ensure survival, not swinging for the extra one. What are we doing here? Throws a fairy water at it just to play around and defeats it with the swag. Everyone get your GGs and hypes out in chat for that one. Good job. Nice play, Mr. Holmes. So we've got Mr. Holmes is going to be taking our first player slot. Tristal, barring any issues with this one, will be taking down our second slot. But if he doesn't, Archfield Monk is right on his heels.
The official SRL time for Mr. Holmes, 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 13 seconds.
You know, for the power start that we had, and then the just mid-level draw and drag, to see 3 players coming in close here, it's kind of impressive. And it looks like Monsieur Slime is stocking up as well, maybe thinking about going for a dive too.
So, question in chat. As far as the fairy water, it does not do a hurt resistance check. The only resistance check that is done with the fairy water is if you attempt to use it on a metal slime, and it's a 50% coin flip to do 1 hit point of damage.
Zarnax pointed out good rolls and a couple doubles for Tristal. I unfortunately have not been keeping track, but he does seem to be on a good, powerful run with this, and still has at least a good 4 heal mores left, so I don't think Tristal's going to have any issues.
Yeah, it should just be another couple attacks at this point here, if not this the last one, possibly. And it is.
And we've got Mr. Holmes in the chat. GG and lovely swag to finish off the Dragon.
Thanks. I was actually wishing I got more of those fairy waters because they do more damage. I had a bunch of low rolls and I was like, oh crap, I really should have bought some. Oh hey, Tristal just finished. Nice.
Yep, Tristal just finished. So Tristal is going to advance as well as you to the semi-final round.
So, I mean, the elephant in the room here is how much of that could you follow? Because I was just ready to cry looking at my internet keep cutting out over and over again. I have local recordings of it, but I'm just curious what you guys could see.
Centroid was doing a good job keeping up with you pretty well. I don't know how or what, but Centroid was doing a great job. It did cut out quite a bit, but we were able to keep track of what was going on.
And we were entertained by some of the ads that popped up as well. And that's, we've already said more than we need to about that.
Oh, I don't know. I think we could talk about Queso at least one more time.
Yes, but I don't want to incur anybody's wrath.
So, Mr. Holmes, aside from, of course, the connectivity issues and things like that, how did you feel about that?
Sorry, just a second here. So, other than... I was a bit terrified when I didn't find Grinhound. I had missed out on that, and I'd done most of the map before I realized it was hiding just in that swamp cell. So other than that, I felt okay, but I thought in a seed where you get the sword at the beginning, something like that could be enough to make things not swing your way. So it's kind of on edge the whole time after that.
Now, did you watch the run before this one?
Only the very beginning, so I saw they were at a ridiculous level, ridiculously early, with ridiculous attack power. It was just ridiculous.
It was quite ridiculous, and it ended everybody pretty close together and right around the hour mark. And so we were watching with some concern as we crept up on the hour 15. If you guys were starting to get a little bit nervous with how long it was taking. We started off Powerhouse, but we kind of leveled out there near the beginning.
Right, and that makes a lot of sense, but I mean, I'd done, I want to say 3 or 4 practice seeds with these flags, and not a single one finished in under an hour and a half. So, I mean, that one was definitely like, they gave you everything. They gave you all the towns. They gave you Charlock right around start. So that was kind of like the perfect storm. So, I mean, around an hour 15, I'm just like, okay, well, we clearly don't have the level. So to answer your question, the time didn't bother me too much. It was just, I always feel things in relative time. Like, how do I think I'm doing relative to how the field would do on average? And that missing of Grinham was just stressing me out. So, like, really, that's all that goes through my mind in that moment.
And we've got Tristal just jumped into the commentator booth as well. GG to you, coming in second, going in hot with that. How did you feel?
I mean, I'm looking over my shoulder the entire time there. That was intense. What an interesting flag.
So is that the first time you'd played that flag set, or had you played a couple before this?
Nope, I was totally going in blind.
Right. I remember you saying something like that last night, so I was wondering if you had, like, thrown one down in the meantime, but you're a busy guy, so I'm not surprised. But, hey, you don't have to play it again. That is the moral of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I had a little bit of Tris luck in getting second in this race, for sure. Especially since I'm not really sure if my mid-game was quite what I intended here. I don't know if I was ahead on levels in the middle or not, or what went on. I'm really looking forward to watching this on replay, because there are so many interesting strategies for this. It really makes you think.
Yeah, it was pretty close actually the whole time. You guys stayed relatively similar in the ways of exploring as well as experience. Meanwhile, Monk does clear out the Dragon Lord as Monsieur Slime is on the final floor. Everyone get your GGs, your hypes out for Archfield Monk coming in third, finally finishing off that.
1:38:48, the official time for Archfield Monk.
So to get back to what you were saying, Tristal, it definitely was a bit of a concerning flag set, to say the least, and a seed, because it started off with a good powerhouse, having the big stick right away and getting Healmore relatively early as well. It seemed like it was going to be a fast one, but then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Yeah, Erdrick's sword being so early kind of bailed me out. You know, like Mr. Holmes told us all I have zero practice at this flag set whatsoever. So, the weird edge case scenarios where you have, like 5 strength to start off with, but too much defense to make slime show up. I'm not sure I would have really known how to handle that, but given what was out there and the first few levels were basically free, I think that helped me out quite a bit here.
So Tristal, in that scenario, what you do is you open Discord and
Right,
you find
right.
Math Girl and you say reseed, please.
Yeah, well, like I said, like having no practice, I don't know if I saw you practice at least one seed and probably more. I don't know if that's a scenario you really know how to handle or not. I was actually super hyped up about last race. I saw somebody had used lowercase h as their name, and I thought, oh my god, that's like the most genius play I've ever seen to start out with lower agility on purpose. But unfortunately, the randomizer sort of protects us from ourselves, and there's only 4 actual builds, and instead you can't do that. So I had thought about that deeply and seriously, and I seriously wonder if that's like the right play, if that's possible.
Yeah, that was a good run, a good race for sure. Well done. We're still waiting to see if we can get Archfield in here for a hangout and a chat with us. Meanwhile, while we're going through that, it looks like Monsieur Slime is taking on the Dragon Lord. Went into it with only 10 heal more, so this is going to be pretty close, but he does have several fairy waters that are going to be hitting and doing some good damage for him, and might get to see this. This is going to be fun to watch.
What level is he on?
He's only went in
on
at
17.
17.
I can't see that being enough. I think you need like 14 or 15 attacks to win.
You,
with
you
step
do,
also
and
he's also got a lot of fairy waters he's been using.
But the thing is, the fairy waters basically it's what, like 9 to 16, isn't it?
Correct.
Or 8 to 16? 9 to 16? So that's 13 and a half on, or 12 and a half on average. If you got, say, 6 of those, that's 75, and then you might get 6 other attacks. Yeah, you're gonna need some luck. You're gonna need to get a lucky double like I got. So, or some high rolls.
well, I think that I don't believe Monsieur Slime entered Sharlock until after Tristal had already finished. So I'm pretty sure this may just be a let's get this done. Try to make.
Anybody else grab a silver shield? I kind of just got the gold naturally.
I was pretty close, but no.
No, you were the only one. We were looking at that to see if it was going to be Silver Shield or Magic Armor. We all kind of figured, or well, I say all, me and Ferran were talking about the Magic Armor was probably not the way to go. Monsieur Slime, unfortunately, does a Hurt More attempt. Did not do enough and gets murderalized. Rip to Monsieur Slime, but it was a good time and did try very well.
Yeah, tried for the Swaggin' Lord, but ultimately threw the forfeit in here, and yeah, noting that dive was a long shot to begin with.
But you can't blame him for trying. Everyone else was wrapping things up. You gotta just swing for the fences, try for the finish. So that race a little bit longer than the last one. We were right around an hour for the last race for our doubleheader tonight. An hour 43 for this one. More content. We just like to bring you the more content over.
Absolutely. So looking forward here, so there are 2 more quarterfinal races, and both of those will be coming your way this Saturday night. Firstly, we have Angel FM, Diabetes II, Brian Williams 42, and Tilo Tilo. That race will be going at 9 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. And then 2 hours later at 11 p.m. Eastern, Ryguy 3745, Smashy, Fry Teeth, and Vralis. It is Group B and Group C, respectively. And the winner of the Angel FM Diabetes Brian Williams and Tilo matchup will take on our two advancers here tonight, Mr. Holmes and Tristal. And then the winner of the latter match will take on the winners from earlier this evening, High Spirits and Cyberdark 86.
Monsieur Slime, hello, welcome.
Welcome, GG's everyone. That was well, once I saw Mr. Holmes finished, I just left and figured it's a roll of the dice. If I'm going to make it through, it's going to be on that one lucky dive, and if it didn't happen, it didn't happen, and it didn't happen. But still, lots of fun.
Absolutely, and Archfield jumped in here too as well. Archfield, GG, and welcome.
Thank you.
So you two, as you guys were diving, it was really impressive to see the game was pretty scattered as far as running around, exploring. Everyone stayed pretty close as far as experience levels went and exploration went. But then to see everyone just kind of doing their own thing and still coming together and seeing everyone hitting Sharlock right around the same time frame. How are you guys feeling about the race as it was going on and the time was taken away?
I wasn't really sure. At least in the early portion when I was in Mountain Cave grinding a bit, just seemed to be going quite badly, or at least not to form. Couldn't get a Magiwyvern to stay asleep and just died a lot. But you know, for most of the race, I felt like I was probably still in it. I don't race with my chat client up, so I didn't know when anybody had finished. I was just pleased to have taken care of that one sub 140, frankly. I don't really know what it would have been like to explore the map since I stayed in ground for so long at the beginning, but I was kind of glad that I did at the time, at least.
Yeah, and I think I struggled to find a really good grind spot for quite a while, and I think I eventually kind of settled on this little section of wyverns, which it got the job done, I guess. But I think it took a little too long and did a little bit too much exploring without taking some experience along the way, as opposed to just running from everything.
Yeah, for me, it just ended up being, oh, maybe find a Star Wyvern or a Green Dragon and just try and like attack and heal more, like a Dragon Lord fight almost. And then it's like, oh, you lost all your magic. Okay, go back to a town and heal. But I mean, sometimes it's just what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, so for the most part, I was happy with how it went. I didn't think for once, I didn't think any massive bonehead errors. So that's a plus. So I'm happy to have at least finished my performance in the league on that note, to say the least.
Well, it was definitely a good run to watch and very enjoyable. So thank you guys very much for your running, for your play. It was a good.
I'm glad it was a good race to watch. GG to Mr. Holmes and to Tristal, and good luck in the rest of the league.
Thanks, Arch.
Thank you.
Looking ahead, I was going to say there's one other thing: the flags for next week, which Holmes and Tristal will be looking toward. It'll definitely take a little bit of skill and, dare I say, a little bit of luck of the Irish, if you will.
He did it. He did it.
In that you have the mandatory challenge level 5 skin, so no numbers will be on display.
Good luck. That's what I was going to bring up too. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch next week. What are you guys going to do to prep for that?
Well, I actually have some experience with that. I raced High Spirits on those flags in, I think it was the last league, or like maybe it was.
Yeah, it was the last league.
But I mean, in that thing, there was no like. This was in the previous version of the randomizer, so you could have the item on the overworld. So I mean, there was 1 or 2 times where I had to like find the armor by searching every overworld square. I'm just thrilled I won't have to do that.
Yeah, I just plan on like sacrificing a couple chickens and invoking the spirit of Tristluck the whole way.
Yeah, don't hit the chicken too many times, or it'll go all Link to the Past on you, if you know what that means.
definitely gonna be enjoyable to watch. So make sure you guys, if you're new to this channel, give this channel a follow so you can catch these sort of races, as well as there's a Randomania 2 that we can stream on as well. You don't want to miss these. These are gonna be really good times. And I think that's it. Is there anything else? Any final words from everybody?
I'd say thanks to the team, not only tonight but the entire tournament, who's kind of put this on, and I look forward to being able to hop in and assist the rest of the way, because it's still a lot of fun to watch even if you're not playing. And frankly, I'm a little bit glad that I don't have to deal with those challenge flags next week. But again, thanks to everyone who helped put this on, and Ferrana and Wicked Viking for hopping in tonight, and Kaimon for picking up all of the different tracking he's done along the way, and Mathgirl for the restream. It's a team effort, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yep,
just thanks so
Centroid
much
as
to
well, who
Paul.
left the room. Not to leave Centroid uncredited. So yeah, Centroid 41 and Camion kind of double teaming on the on the tracking. Understandable with 4 people going at one time.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to jump in there. I just wanted to echo Monsieur Slime's thoughts. Just thanks all of you on the Restream team and the tournament administrators for putting everything together and making sure everything goes. We really appreciate it.
Yep, I'll echo that as well. Everybody who's still in the chat, you should actually follow the restreamer and the commentators and the tracker and everybody who puts these on, because they're doing it on a volunteer basis. So show them some love.
All right. I think that's everyone. The only one left was Mr. Holmes, but I don't see in chat anymore. So, Farhan, you wanna take us?
Yeah, I think we can do that here as we 1:15 here on the East Coast. Yeah, time certainly does fly when you're having fun. And we thank you for joining us here on Randomania for the Dragon Warrior Randomizer opening night of the playoffs here. And we will continue this coming Saturday night. And it certainly should be a goodie. About 69 hours from now, a little less than. Certainly should be a goodie. So for everybody behind the scenes and all the folks here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community, Randomania, and the like, until next time, I'm Farhan Burgundy saying may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.